progressive politics in this city and this state, but I have to begin by acknowledging my greatest friend and ally and partner and inspiration. Please step forward. My wife, Shirlane McCrae. And I have to say, it was about maybe 100 feet away, inside those doors, that she walked up to me one day in 1991, while we were both working for Mayor Dinkins, and my life has been much, much better ever since. So, good things do happen. Let me speak about these individuals for a moment. I just want to say a few things about our campaigns, about how we want to make this city better. I'm going to go in the order in which they spoke. So, Scott, I have immense appreciation, but also immense respect for what you do. Scott Strayer is synonymous with reform. In Albany, he took on some very tough and unpopular battles to make Albany better. And now you see a lot of changes, and he was one of the people who sparked it. And here in the city, whether it's fighting for affordable housing, whether it is helping to reform the basic work of government, especially our community boards, which are more and more important because of his work, or whether it's looking over the horizon to the kind of city we need to have, which not enough public officials do, but he does. And he mentioned food. I have to say a word, and you're going to be hearing a lot more coming up. Food Shed. This is the man who's talking about the fact that we have to think about where our food comes from and how to make it more local and how to help our environment and buy locally, grow locally. He's leading the way on that. So thank you, Scott. And continuing to reform Albany every day, these two great leaders. Eric and I have known each other a long time. And what I love about Eric is one of the most substantive people you're going to meet, but also one of the folks who's constantly trying to move the political process forward. We would not have a Democratic majority in the state Senate if it were not for Eric Schreiber. Right. Period. And I hope history shows that clearly. But he is and I want to say one that is as important, probably much more important. We would not have had this long-awaited change in the Rockefeller drug laws if it weren't for Eric Schneiderman as well. And Linda and I were talking today that this is a passionate advocate for her community, and when she takes on a cause, watch out, people on the other side. Affordable housing, landlords, get out of the way. Don't be around when she's here. She's fought for victims of domestic violence. She's fought for animal rights. She has a broad set of interests, but the common thread is she fights with tremendous energy and passion and organizes people. So Linda, thank you very much. And then I'm going to say something that I have said to his face and I've said behind his back, and I mean it. I think literally this man is the example to us all of public service. He is the example far and away of how to be a member of the United States Congress, of how to be a progressive. I have modeled since the first time I think I had the honor of having a real conversation with you in 1994, and the topic was the rail freight tunnel. Yes, it was a long conversation. But from that moment on, I felt this is the guy to model yourself after, because he is achieving such extraordinary things. And again, you know what? Jerry Nadler is not just a guy who has one of the great policy minds of any elected official. He will work that process in Washington to a fare thee well. There's a reason all that transportation money keeps coming back. It's one person doing it, is Jerry Nadler. But that does not mean for a moment he does not have established an extraordinarily effective political operation in the community too. I always say it's one thing to be substantive and it's one thing to be political. If you can put the two together, you can really change the world. And this is the exemplar right here. Congressman Nadler, thank you for everything. And this is by far the best day we've had on the campaign. We've had a lot of good days. I'm proud to have the support of the Working Families Party. I'm proud to support of ACORN, the communications workers, and Congressman's colleagues, Ed Towns and Yvette Clark, and just yesterday, the hotel and restaurant workers. But this, I can say without bias, is the best day we've had. This is an extraordinary collection of leaders who have an extraordinary ability to move many, many people to our cause. This is, I think, a group of folks who have established extraordinary reach in the community by long, hard work to change the community for the better. So they have a loyal following, and they got it the good old-fashioned way. They earned it through hard work. And with us working together, I have now got no doubt now we have built a coalition that we need to prevail in this election, and more importantly, to then do the work of changing New York City for the better. Simply put, and I think a lot of great things and flattering things were said earlier, but the concept I like running through all the remarks is the way you make change. And I think no one epitomized this more than our president and how he approached becoming president. He kept saying to us all, you change the world from the grassroots, from the bottom up, not the top down. And you change the world by convincing people of the value of their vote, of their voice, of their activism. That was the brilliance of his effort. Now all of us here at this humble level need to pick up that mantle, need to pick up that idea and extend it outward every single day into every community. That's what excites me about the office of public advocate. I think it is the best community organizing platform you could possibly imagine, because this role involves the public advocate in every single important issue in every single neighborhood. And what you'll find is leaders all over the city who want to make change, community organizations, activists, and if we band together, we can make change that much more deeply, that much more quickly. We know, for example, we need so much more affordable housing in this city, and we know the policies of this city still are not where they need to be to maximize the amount of affordable housing we create. We are still giving away the store to the development community and not getting back what communities need. Well, you know what? That is a choice. That's a policy, and policies can change, but policies don't just change because we realize something needs to be reformed. They change because we build a movement of people for change that crystallizes the need, and that pushes, and government always needs pushing, pushes government to do what it should be doing already. That's one example, and I really appreciated what Linda said about public school parents. I'm a public school parent, and it is a passion of mine. If we can really organize the parents of this city, we did so far in terms of getting aid from Albany, for example. We finally got justice on campaign for fiscal equity. But there's so much more to do to turn parents into a powerful political force, to create equity throughout our school system, to make sure parents' voice matters, to make decisions as a city about, for example, how much testing is the right amount of testing and how much testing is too much testing. Let's get parents involved in that discussion. They belong in it. And let's give parents a sense that they are actually stakeholders in our public schools. The notion that a parent will get ready to go to their zone school and they're turned away and put on a wait list is unacceptable. And City Hall needs to be held to account. And it will be held to account not only if elected officials speak up and organize our efforts, but if we organize the people to have the maximum impact on the process. The last thing I want to say is a lot of the speakers kindly alluded to it. I have devoted a lot of my time inside this building to trying to fight for disadvantaged New Yorkers. And everyone around me here is a true progressive. Everyone around me earned their stripes, and everyone knows one of the dangers we always face in bad economic times is cuts get made on the backs of those who have the least political power. And that often means people in poorer communities. And we've got several years ahead where one of the core moral questions in the city is, are we going to be fair in how we deal with our budget crisis and our economic crisis? Are we going to watch out for people with greatest need? Are we going to protect children in particular who don't have a vote? I will be devoted to creating that equity and protecting those who need as public advocate. And I will know that I have the best of friends and allies in doing it. So I want to say this is a profoundly important day for me and my campaign. It's personally something I appreciate so much, to stand with people I respect so deeply. And this is going to be a day that we'll look back on and say it was a day when we changed this race very profoundly, and it built the pathway to victory. So thank you so much.